Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the inaugural State of the College Forum. I'm Dr. Carolina Gonzalez. I'm the Assistant Dean for Administrative, External, and Student Affairs in the College of Education and Human Services. I have proudly served our community for 6 years, with first working in the Center of Pedagogy, leading the recruitment, admissions, and diversity initiatives, and then transitioning to the Dean's office as Assistant Dean. Prior to working at Montclair State, I served the New York City Department of Education, leading a major education initiative, and have also worked in higher education in the state of New Jersey. I have earned a Ph.D. from Seton Hall University and have published several articles on the experiences of underserved and underrepresented college student populations. And I'm very happy to be here with you, and I thank you for joining us as well. In this forum for alumni and friends, we will share some information about the current state of the College of Education and Human Services outstanding academic program, and some ways that you can get involved in the future success of the college. You will hear college updates and highlights from Dean Lucas. Then our faculty will give you an overview of two important projects that are making significant impacts on communities and schools. And the chair of the college's advisory board will discuss priorities. You will also have a chance to hear from a student who will share her experiences in the college, and then from Montclair State University's Vice President of Development about the significance of philanthropy for the college. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Tamara Lucas, Dean of the College of Education and Human Services at Montclair State University. Dean Lucas has served the CEHS community since 1997, previously serving as an associate dean and professor in the Department of Educational Foundations. Prior to coming to Montclair State University, Dr. Lucas held positions at Teachers College, Columbia University, and at ARC Associates, an educational research agency in Oakland, California, focusing on linguistic minority student populations. Dr. Lucas, who received a Ph.D. in education from Stanford University, has published 3 books and numerous articles and book chapters. She has also served in various roles in professional organizations. Most recently, she was a founding member of the National Network Education Deans for Justice and Equity and is now the co-chair of its steering committee. Dr. Lucas has been at Montclair State University during a period of significant change as the university transitioned from being a master's level institution to a doctoral research R2 university. Today, she will be providing us with notable updates in our college. Please join me in welcoming Dean Tamara Lucas. Thank you.
Am I mute? Sorry, I wasn't sure if I was unmuted. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this State of the College Forum. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you are inspired to connect with us in some way after learning about the College of Education and Human Services at Montclair State in the next hour. I also want to say that I hope all of you and your family and loved ones are well. This once in a lifetime pandemic that we're living through is a challenge for all of us, and I wish you and yours good health. As you know, the beginnings of what is now the College of Education and Human Services started back years ago, actually in 1908, when Montclair Normal School was created for young women who wanted to become teachers. Ever since then, Montclair State has been known as a place that prepares excellent teachers. In fact, if you grew up in New Jersey, you probably had at least one teacher or principal or school counselor or other educator who got their education in one of our programs. Over the past 112 years, of course, this institution has gone through major transformation and growth. From a normal school with 187 students to a state teachers college, to a full service state college, to a state university with master's degree programs, to a doctoral research university with 21,000 students today. The mission of the College of Education and Human Services is to be an innovative national leader in the preparation of educators and human services professionals. We are seeking to prepare our graduates with the knowledge, skills, and habits of mind to work toward a healthier, better educated, more just society. One way or another, we're all working to change people's lives, and that's the mission that drives our work. Sorry. Now a few facts about the college. We have 4,418 students in fall 2020. Half of them are undergraduate students and half are graduate students, doctoral and master's students. 52% of our undergraduate students and 39% of our graduate students are from minoritized racial and ethnic groups. The university has 8 doctoral programs, and 3 of those are in the College of Education and Human Services. We have Ph.D. programs in teacher education and teacher development, family science and human development, and counseling. And it's really inspiring now that we have quite a few Ph.D. graduates out there teaching in universities and serving in high-level positions in other types of agencies and organizations with PhDs from Montclair State. The college offers undergraduate and graduate degree programs in a variety of education-related fields and areas, of course, but we also offer programs in public health, counseling, family science and human development, nutrition, dietetics, food science, food systems, exercise science, and athletic training. So it's a varied group of academic programs that we offer. Many of our 107 faculty members are doing cutting edge research, and you're going to hear from a few of those in a few minutes. But the kinds of issues that our faculty are addressing in their research include health disparities among different groups in the US based on race, ethnicity, and gender, for example, the complexities of sibling relationships, how best to teach students from diverse racial and ethnic backgrounds and with different learning needs, ways to reduce substance abuse among young youth and adults, and how diet affects athletic performance. Those are just some examples of the kinds of research being done. And during the pandemic, many CEHS scholars and experts have been sought out by local and national media, including New York Times, CNN, Wall Street Journal, and WNYC Public Radio, to give expert commentary on numerous important issues facing us today. We have a college board advisory board, made up of 12 members, some alumni, some friends and supporters, who are contributing in different ways to our success. And I want to thank them for their commitment to our work and to our students. Now I want to share a few of our accomplishments. First, our national rankings. We are one of only 2 New Jersey institutions with nationally ranked graduate education programs in the US News and World Report rankings of America's best graduate schools of education. We are number 105 out of almost 400 doctoral granting institutions in the country. So we're in just about the top quarter of ranked graduate education programs. And since the list includes Harvard and Stanford and UCLA and Berkeley and Penn, all those well-known doctoral research universities, it's quite an accomplishment and acknowledgement of our impact in the academic world. Our online educational leadership programs ranked number 25 overall in online graduate education programs, and number 22 among online educational administration programs in the US News rankings of best online graduate education programs. Our teacher education program is one of 7 programs featured in the 2019 Harvard Education Press book by renowned educational scholars Linda Darling Hammond and Jeannie Oakes, titled Preparing Teachers for Deeper Learning. And what the book does is describe how Montclair State's program, along with the other 6 who were selected for the study and the report, are designing ways to equip future teachers with the skills and mindsets needed for 21st century student learning. So in addition to those accomplishments sort of in the academic world, the more academically oriented world, we're also very successful in seeking and receiving grant funding to support our work. In fiscal year 20, the one that just ended not too long ago, the university had a record-breaking year in grant funding. The university brought in $22.4 million in that year, up from $17.9 million the year before. Of the $22.4 million, the College of Education and Human Services brought in $14.1 million, which is 63% of all of the grant funding that was brought into the university in that record-breaking year. Just a few examples of the grants that we received. Dr. Jerry Costa, who's director of the Center for Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health, received an $8.3 million 5-year grant from the New Jersey Department of Education to improve inclusive education in New Jersey schools. And they're working in collaboration with the New Jersey Coalition for Inclusive Education. Dr. Majid Azal, who is a faculty member in the Teaching and Learning Department, received a $500,000 Spencer Foundation grant recently to study teacher diversity, retention, and Muslim American teachers. Dr. Tanya Maloney and Dr. Bree Pickauer, who are also in the Teaching and Learning Department, and Dr. Jennifer Robinson, Executive Director of our Center of Pedagogy, received a $3.6 million 5-year grant from the U.S. Department of Ed to continue our urban teacher residency program in partnership with Newark Public Schools and other urban districts. And the total grant funding we received for that very innovative work is $16.1 million over 15 years. And Dr. Robert Reed and Dr. Pauline Garcia Reed, faculty members in Family Science and Human Development, received grants totaling about $435,000 from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for their work on substance abuse prevention in Paterson, New Jersey. And that work they've been doing has actually been federally funded for probably 15 years. That's just the most recent of their grants. And you're going to hear from the work of those last two pairs of people that I mentioned in just a moment. The college also now has several centers through which we engage with the larger community. The Ben Samuels Children's Center, which opened in 2005, offers childcare and preschool classes and is locally renowned for its excellent care, but also for its inclusive educational environment for young children. And I'm happy to say that they were able to reopen in September after closing because of the pandemic, and so far so good. The building is full of little children who are being educated and cared for safely. The Center for Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health is another center we have which provides service, support, and research on issues related to infant and early childhood mental health and also developmental differences and disabilities. The Center for Research and Evaluation on Education and Human Services provides independent evaluation, applied research, and program planning services to a wide variety of organizations and educational institutions in New Jersey and beyond. So the college has grown and expanded its research in various ways as the university has also grown and changed. But with all these changes, one thing that hasn't changed in all those years is the basic laser focus on students and on teaching. Even though research now is much more important than it was 30 years ago, teaching and focusing on students is still the heart of what we do. Students in the college have access to great teachers and great researchers as well. And through our Student Success Center, they also have access to dedicated professional advising, internship support, and career counseling. And we're also building knowledge and sharing it widely by conducting and disseminating important research, as I've already alluded to. And we're impacting our communities, the state, and the country through that research, but also through partnerships, advocacy, and professional engagement of many different sorts. So I hope this, what is a very brief overview, gives you a sense of the college as it is today. If you're an alumna or alumnus, I hope what you've heard makes you proud of your alma mater. Please feel free to reach out to me with questions and ideas. I'm easy to find on our website. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you to all of those who have contributed to the success of Montclair State University and the College of Education and Human Services over the years. And now I'll turn the program back to Dr. Gonzalez. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Lucas. Next, I'd like to introduce Assistant Professor Dr. Tanya Maloney and Associate Professor Dr. Bree Pickauer in the Department of Teaching and Learning, who will tell you about their innovative and highly acclaimed Newark Teacher Project.
Thank you, Catalina. Hello, everyone. I'm Tanya Maloney, and I'm here to share a bit about the Newark Teacher Project, which is a small cohort of teacher education students that are placed together in their fall and spring semesters of their student teaching year. And our program focuses on developing our student teachers racial and social justice and understanding of urban education and how these issues impact their teaching profession and their teaching practice. The Newark Teacher Project is open to all students in the teacher education programs here at Montclair State, and our students are placed specifically in Newark classrooms with carefully selected mentor teachers. NTP seminars support all areas of teacher development. And as I mentioned, we pay specific attention to developing our students' understanding of how racial justice can come into their classroom. And as we know that's a particular need in our current context. And the cohort is small and provides support and community and has access, our students have access to special events and high quality anti-racist professional development. And NTP develops a caring community built on strong relationships that lay the groundwork for powerful social justice teacher development.
Next slide, please. So I'm Dr. Pickauer, and together Dr. Maloney and I are the co-directors of the Newark Teacher Project. We recruit students from the traditional teacher education program as they get ready to enter their student teaching year, regardless of whether they're undergraduates or graduate students, regardless of their grade level or content area. We are interested in students from our program who are interested in racial and social justice. And so we recruit from the broader community to find those students that really want that focus. We look specifically for students who are critical thinkers and are interested in really dedicating themselves to be the best teachers that Newark students deserve. We are particularly interested in recruiting teachers of color to serve the communities of color in Newark. And so we have a separate application process to ensure that we have students who are open-minded and ready to be challenged and to really do all of the work that it takes to be an excellent urban educator. They're with us for a year. We have a summer orientation program with them, and then they spend their clinical year in the Newark Teacher Project, where we have carefully selected mentor teachers, predominantly mentor teachers of color, who are also willing to grow and learn as social justice and racial justice educators. So we provide professional development to them alongside the education that our, what we call residents, our students, are receiving. We have a special, what we call our street team, who go out into the field and build relationships with the children, with the residents, and with the mentor teachers, to really be right there side by side with our residents as they're learning to teach. And so all of this creates a family environment where we all get to know each other extremely well. And we have been fortunate in the past that we received a grant from the state on recruiting teachers of color in the past. And the next slide, please. Thank you. So some of the highlights, as Dr. Maloney said, we have an anti-racist curriculum where we talk about the strengths and the assets of the Newark community. The students really spend time getting to know different community organizations and understand the resources that are available to them as educators in Newark. They learn how to teach social justice curriculum and to take the curriculum that they're given and look at it, analyze it, and refine it through a social justice lens. And they teach units on things like Black Lives Matter, where they last year presented to the broader community their lessons that they had prepared and taught in their schools on that topic. As I mentioned, we have a 3-week summer orientation where we really work to build that justice lens, and they get to participate in different professional development opportunities, such as thinking about radical healing, which is a kind of a newer way of thinking about trauma-informed teaching, to really think about how do we heal from oppression as part of thinking about trauma. And we bring nationally recognized speakers to campus where students then have an opportunity to get to know them and have conversations with some cutting edge scholars who are doing work in the field. We also really focus on having 360 support and one-on-one meetings where we're really getting to know the students and we're right there next to them, supporting them through the way. Next slide.
And so now we are going to share with you some words from our alumni. Sorry, we can go for it.
After my first meeting with Dr. Picauer about New York Teacher Project, I called my mother on the verge of tears. And I called her on the verge of tears because I was so excited that I had finally found a program aligned with my idea of education that I didn't know what else to do. I had found a program that was focused on social justice and anti-racism. And Newark Teacher Project did an amazing job in preparing me for that. They gave me the skills to combat the injustice that I see every day in my classroom and in my school and in the district that I work for. So I was blessed to have this amazing training. And for that, I will always be grateful, and Newark Teacher Project will always have a special place in my heart.
Thank you, Michaela. We're going to hear from one more.
Newark Teacher Project prepared me for the life of forever advocating for my students and my community. They taught me the change starts within me, my beliefs, and most importantly, my actions. As the teacher in the classroom, it is my job to teach students. But as the adult in the classroom, it is my duty to truly see and listen to my students. NTP taught me I can't teach without learning about my students' quirks, what makes them happy, their struggles, and of course, the effects of oppression that still persist in schools. NTP gave me the lens to look deeper into the curriculum, books, and resources. I had to go beyond the facts that were drilled into me. I now make sure that our content includes diverse voices and cultures, as well as include larger issues in our society. While these issues may be difficult to understand and fix, I must provide space for critical thinking, creative energy, and hope to spark a change. Most importantly, NTP has taught me to think critically of myself, how I act in society and in the classroom. Am I adding to the problem in any way? Am I creating a safe, affirming space for my students? I must be willing to get uncomfortable with myself to grow and change and enact social change. Thank you, NTP, for lighting the light in me.
Thank you so much. So we had to, share our voices from our alumni because they are the folks that truly, obviously, can really tell you how our program has benefited them. And so this final image that we have here is from our cohort from last semester that just recently graduated. You could see Michaela in the image in the back there to the right. And so just wanted to reiterate just how close our program is and how proud we are of these graduates who are now currently teaching in classrooms, mainly across Newark Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Drs. Maloney and Pickhour. The last two videos were very touching, so I appreciate you showing them, certainly. And once again, congratulations on the grant as well. Next, please welcome Professors Dr. Robert Reed and Dr. Pauline Garcia Reed in the Family Science and Human Development Department. With 17 consecutive years of federal funding, Drs. Reed and Garcia Reed have focused on developing, coordinating, and testing community-wide prevention initiatives to help at-risk children and adolescents make better life choices. Their studies have addressed topics such as sexual risk-taking and substance and alcohol use among urban minority youth, with their research being cited by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Institute on Drug Abuse, and the World Health Organization. Today, they will discuss their decades of grant-supported work on substance and HIV prevention in the community of Paterson, New Jersey. Thank you.
First and foremost, thank you, Dean Gonzalez, and thank you, Dean Lucas, for sponsoring this event and for allowing us to provide a snapshot of our work in the city of Paterson. If we could go to the next slide, please. So just to provide a quick overview regarding the funding sources for our initiatives, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, we have within that broader federal agency, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, Center for Substance Abuse Prevention, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy have supported our work in the city of Paterson. And as Dean Gonzalez mentioned, we've had secured 17 years of consecutive funding, which have totaled a little more than $7 million at the present time. And this has included projects funded through the Minority AIDS Initiative, the Drug Free Community Support Program, and I would be remiss if I did not thank then Senator Biden, now President-elect Biden, who actually supported that initiative back in 1996. So since that time, we've seen over 1,000 anti-drug coalitions across the United States. So we are indebted to his work on that particular front. And more recently, we were awarded this past August a Partnerships for Success grant for $1.5 million to continue our work in the city of Paterson. So we're very fortunate and eager to get started with that project. Embedded within these initiatives, the titles that we've given to our work, Project Hope, Communities Organizing for Prevention and Empowerment, as well as the Paterson Coalition Against Substance Abuse. And those programs have focused on reducing health disparities and improving health outcomes among racial and ethnically diverse students and youth throughout the city of Paterson, New Jersey. Next slide, please. Sorry, that's got a little muddled up on top. So in essence, we use a community-based participatory approach to cultivate a university community partnership. And that partnership is between the Department of Family Science and Human Development and the College of Education and Human Services and numerous stakeholders throughout the city of Paterson, including families, schools, municipal government, law enforcement agencies, social services, local businesses, as well as faith-based institutions. And embracing this perspective, we've taken on this collaborative effort, which has enabled our prevention team to develop and coordinate a multi-tiered prevention strategy, more specifically targeting urban minority youth to reduce substance misuse as well as sexual risk-taking behaviors. So as part of this multi-tiered strategy, we work on the individual level, where we provide culturally tailored substance misuse, HIV/AIDS, and viral hepatitis health promotion curricula to our underserved populations. And then more so at the community level through our Paterson Coalition Against Substance Use project, we are working on dismantling the social structures that promote underage alcohol and drug use while also striving to reduce access to alcohol and tobacco products. And lastly, cornerstone to these efforts, these policy-driven initiatives, we've really embraced the voices of our youth, and it's so important to include their perspective when we're designing and implementing these types of initiatives. Next slide, please. So some accomplishments that I would like to highlight. We continue to serve approximately 600 program participants per year through our evidence-based model prevention protocols. And through our social media platforms, that being our national campaigns, community health forums, health fairs, as well as tabling events, we've been able to reach approximately 50,000 community residents each year through those messagings. We've also facilitated HIV testing for 730 community members. And then we've also gathered multiple outcome evaluation data with our partnerships with various institutions such as Rutgers, the University of Iowa, as well as the University of New Mexico, which has demonstrated our effectiveness in the community. And the results of these outcome findings have shown that our program has exhibited significant reductions in substance use and risky sexual behaviors, while also increasing social support, family cohesion, and community involvement among our program participants. And lastly, our work has also helped to empower and mobilize the community around quality of life issues. In Paterson, in 8.4 square miles, they have approximately 200 alcohol liquor selling establishments. So we've been able to pass ordinances with the participation of our youth to actually curtail the spread of these alcohol outlets and to reduce their hours. So that's been key to a lot of our efforts through our anti-coalition work. So our next few slides are going to talk about our our work with students at Montclair State, and I have Dr. Garcia Reed, our colleague, working on that front.
So, hi, again, my name is Pauline Garcia Reed, and I'm excited to present the next set of slides. So, since its inception in 2005, our projects have served as a research hub and training ground for over 200 undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral students, both within and outside Montclair State University. We've been able to draw in students from various institutions who have worked collaboratively with our team at MSU. Data from our projects have also been used by several doctoral students to complete their dissertations. More recently, we just graduated our student who graduated in May who used our data for her dissertation purposes. Faculty-student engagement has also resulted in more than 60 peer-reviewed publications and over 100 national and international conference presentations. And we're really proud of that collaboration, which has really fostered a real appreciation for research, but also how it translates into practice. As community engaged scholars, we have embraced an action research agenda built on the tenets of social justice. We've heard that theme throughout, but it really plays out in the work that we do. So while we have made significant progress toward this end, we remain firmly committed to removing the structural and environmental constraints that serve to marginalize resource-poor communities and replacing them with insight and options to ignite positive community-oriented change. And again, that is at the bedrock of the work that we do. So while we're really excited to report all the publications and presentations, it's really how it translates into public scholarship that excites us, and being able to see how those relationships are fermented within university community partnerships. Next slide, please.
Yes, so I wanted to at least show and showcase some of the products that were put forth. Again, thinking of Patterson being a hard-hit, economically disadvantaged community with some of the highest rates of substance use and HIV infection across the entire state, and just being able to mobilize and galvanize our youth around these pressing issues and for them to take ownership over these messages. And I think one of the criticisms along the way with some of the materials that we would introduce to our youth was that the messaging did not represent who they are. So here they are actually taking some ownership, creating some comic book figures. These are billboards that are presently in the city of Patterson. And again, it was taking data from our projects, informing our youth and the community, and then taking these data points and creating this positive prevention messaging to try to prevent, discourage drug use in the community. So we've been very fortunate and blessed. You know, it's been a long ride so far. So we hope to continue our work in the community. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drs. Reed and Garcia Reed. Congratulations on your grants once again. And it's just very inspiring to hear the important work that you're doing in a community. Next, we'll hear about the college's advisory board, the experience of a student in the college, and the importance of support from alumni. I'd like to introduce Dr. Frank Alvarez, chair of the CEHS advisory board, followed by Manar Alcidi, current student in the nutrition and food science program, Colleen Coppola, Vice President of Development, Karen Hackett from Alumni Relations, and finally, Yanira Amadeo, our college's Director of Development. Welcome, Dr. Alvarez.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. Again, my name is Frank Alvarez, graduate of 1976. Feels like a long time ago. Communication sciences and disorders. It was because of Montclair that I became a teacher, a principal, and ultimately a superintendent. I also served on the college's, on the university's actually, Alumni Association for about 12 years and served as its president during the centennial year of the university. Currently, I am the inaugural chair of the advisory board. And at the core of the advisory board's mission and vision is to cultivate a culture of philanthropy among alumni and students to support a meaningful experience for our students now and in the future. CEHS, the CEHS, advisory board embraces facilitating philanthropy throughout the college, essentially being ambassadors of the college's vision and core values. We, in particular, focus on the following priorities. We offer professional expertise and guidance to support students and alumni. We promote and support innovative faculty initiatives. We engage in student mentorship and networking, and we share professional expertise via course and guest speaking engagements. We are a 12-member board. I'm going to mention the names because some of them I think are on this webinar and would like them to be acknowledged. So Arlene Allen, class of 64, Dason Boyo, class of 2011, Lindsay and Sarah, Wendy Lacey, Valerie Mayholmes, class of 80, Nell Noddings, who's been a luminary in the field of education, is on our board. Nell graduated from the class of 49. Newman Rochester, class of 2000. Pam Scott, who I know is joining us this afternoon. Manny Serfani, class of 61. And Ed Topar, class of 60. Wamwari Wachango, class of 90. And our good friend at the university, Murtis Yates, who's been with us for a long time. What else can I tell you? I can tell you that at recent advisory board meetings, we have talked about how we can support the university and in particular the college. We have discussed our students' needs, faculty initiatives, and ways in which we can continue to be supportive. Recent initiatives include implementing and executing a strategic growth plan, faculty and board member working sessions, and supporting the Dean Lucas Scholarships for CEHS Challenge, one of our favorite challenges at this point. Board members invest heavily in the future of the college by establishing scholarships and endowments that support students and programs. Several board members have named scholarships that support programs and students, while others provide specific initiatives in public health, counseling services, exercise science, and inclusive education. Most recently, an endowment was established by a board member to provide scholarships to students in the nutrition and food science program. We are proud of our ability to invest in the college. I enjoy being the chair of this impressive group of advocates and ask that you consider giving back to the college by being a mentor or by offering your expertise as a guest speaker. I give back because I know that it matters to our students to see and hear from alumni from whom Montclair has made a huge difference in their lives. I want to leave you with the thought that the advisory board cares deeply about assisting the college, and we ask that you join us in engaging with students and faculty to continue graduating talented, resilient students. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Manar Saidi, and I'm a senior majoring in dietetics. I'm a first-generation Yemeni American and the first in my family to go to college. My parents raised me to focus on making a difference in the world rather than a profit. My mom always told me that knowledge is nur, which translates to light. I've chosen to seek knowledge in nutrition. The College of Education and Human Services has provided me with amazing professors who have truly made a difference in my life. And it is because of them that I'm pursuing an accelerated BS/MS program. One of these professors offered me an opportunity to assist in research. In the outreach portion of the research, I was introduced to an organization that fights for food justice in a low-income neighborhood. It was at this point that I truly understood the realities of food injustice. Now, not only have I joined the organizing committee of this organization, but I've also become an advocate for food justice here on campus. For me, this is a clear example of my mom's advice on education. The knowledge I have gained has shone a light on an issue so close to home. After graduating with my master's and becoming a registered dietitian, I hope to pursue private practice and possibly get my Ph.D. However, what I've learned in my experience is that education is a privilege, which could be inhibited by finance. Not everyone has access to seek the light through a college education, which is why scholarships are important to students like me. Not only has receiving a scholarship made me more confident in my financial ability to pursue my master's, but it has lifted a lot of stress off my shoulder during my senior year. I'm able to allocate more time to gaining experience and developing intellectually in order to become the best registered dietitian I can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Minar. You're an inspiration to many, and it's great to hear your story, and a great segue for me as I speak about philanthropy at Montclair State University and the importance of scholarship support to our students. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colleen Kopla. I'm the Vice President for Development at Montclair State University, and it's a pleasure to be with all of you today. And thank you to Dean Lucas and to her team for inviting me and my colleagues to join you and share a few key development and alumni engagement highlights with all of you. I recently celebrated my 2-year anniversary at the university, and it's been an exciting and a really very busy 2 years. As the sibling of 3 Montclair State University alumni who were all first-generation college students themselves, I've always known the power of a Montclair State University education to impact lives and the value of the opportunities that the university provides our students. I'm truly honored to work for Montclair State and to help support the important mission of the university. When I arrived at the university 2 years ago, we went into the public phase of SOAR, the campaign for Montclair State, and recently in June of 2020, we closed out that campaign successfully. This was the largest campaign in the university's history, and I'm happy to share with you that we exceeded our $75 million goal and raised nearly $82 million to support the university. When SOAR was launched in 2014, campaign priorities were chosen that would help advance our university's pursuit of access and excellence, providing scholarships to promising students just like Minar, strengthening resources for research, and enhancing the campus for our students. These goals clearly resonated with our supporters as more than 20,000 alumni, friends, and corporate and foundation donors stepped forward during the course of the campaign to invest in the university's future. $6 million of those dollars were actually specifically raised to support the College of Education and Human Services, with almost $4 million of those going to support student scholarships in the college. In total, the campaign raised nearly $30 million in scholarship funds for our students, and that created 91 new scholarship funds. This imperative support is impacting thousands upon thousands of students every semester and every year at the university. So I'd like to take a moment to give a heartfelt thanks to all of you who have supported the university and the College of Education and Human Services over the years, from alumni, faculty, staff, corporations, foundations, and friends. We all came together collectively to support the important work of the college and allow many students to receive critical funds to both embark on their educational experience, but also continue their dream of pursuing a higher education. So thank you for believing in our mission and our students and for helping to transform lives. This year, as we celebrate the impact of the SOAR campaign through the many stories we plan to share about our donors, our student scholars, our faculty, and all of the programs that the support has helped to allow, such as in the upcoming late November edition of our Montclair magazine. You'll be looking for that around Thanksgiving week, and on our various virtual engagement channels, from our alumni social media sites to our alumni friends e-newsletter. We also recognize that many needs still exist and that some of this need for support has actually been even accelerated due to the pandemic. Scholarship and program support remains essential in our fundraising goals this year to ensure that our students can complete their degrees and realize their long-term goals. So we do continue to reach out to many of you and your fellow alumni, to our faculty and staff as well, and to friends, to share our story and the story of the many deserving students we serve. The Development Office works to raise critical funds to support student scholarships, capital projects, research, programs across campus. We're a team of 27 people, from directors of development for the colleges to alumni engagement and annual giving professionals, to foundation team members and donor relations and corporate and foundation relations staff. And today I'm lucky to have 2 of my colleagues who have joined me to work closely with the college. They're helping to engage alumni and donors and raise vital support for the college every day. So I'd like to pass it off to Karen Hackett, who is our Associate Director of Alumni Engagement and Annual Giving. Karen will be happy to share with you the many ways we're working to engage alumni and friends in a meaningful way in the life of the college. And then after Karen, you'll have a chance to hear from Yanira Amadeo, the Director of Development for the college, who will share more details about the College of Education and Human Services supporters, for whom we really are so very thankful. So thank you again for your time, for allowing us to be part of today's program. I look forward to getting to know more of you personally as the year progresses. And until then, please stay safe and well, and thank you for all you do for the university.
Thank you, Colleen. Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Hackett, Associate Director of Alumni Engagement, Montclair State. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Alumni, you are part of a successful network of fellow Red Hawks that is 130,000 strong and growing from all 50 states and worldwide. More specifically, the College of Education and Human Services has graduated close to 38,000 alumni. And you play an important role in the future success of this network. You can participate in programs that connect you with current students. You could serve as a mentor, speak in a class, participate on a panel. And you could build your professional and social network by attending alumni events. You can enhance your career skills by participating in career building and professional webinars. And of course, be an ambassador and help recruit new students to Montclair State. So there are many opportunities for alumni and friends to connect and reconnect with the university. So be sure to check your inbox for announcements regarding upcoming events and activities. A weekly email that we send on Mondays highlights university and alumni programs, and our monthly e-newsletter, as Colleen noted, showcases university news from academics to athletics, and we share important profiles of alumni in the network. So be sure to follow us on social too. I also want to note that we recently launched a new online community exclusively for Montclair State alumni. It's called Montclair Connect. And we have a dedicated group for alumni from the College of Education and Human Services. So I encourage you to join. With this platform, you can search and connect with classmates and fellow alumni, and you can flash mentor fellow alumni or say recent grads. So it's a great way to build your professional network. So remember, your connection to Montclair State, it doesn't end the day you graduate, it lasts a lifetime. So stay connected to your alma mater and with fellow alumni and help build a tradition of success for that next generation of Montclair State grads through a strong and active network of alumni and friends. So with that, I will turn it over to my colleague in development, Yanira Amadeo.
Thank you, Karen. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yanira Amadeo, Director of Development at the university, working closely with the College of Education and Human Services. I have nearly 20 years experience working in the higher education sector, over 15 years managing development work to raise philanthropic support for universities. When arriving at Montclair State 2 years ago, I had every intention of raising support for hardworking, talented students to gain access to education and for world-class faculty to have support for innovative research. I get to share the journey of our many gifted, talented students with all of you. I believe with the relationships I'm building, collaboration with the advisory board and faculty, and the various support from alumni, faculty, and friends like you, I am well on my way to achieving my objective here at the college. The college has a long history of philanthropy. From approximately 38,000 alumni, 20% support the college and university through philanthropic activities. As alumni, you have an opportunity to give back to the college in any way that you can, whether volunteering, mentoring, guest speaking, or through contributions. Your involvement is not only encouraged, it is necessary to grow the culture of alumni engagement that will affect future generations of students and alumni. The immediate growth in student financial need has led Montclair State to create initiatives that provide emergency aid to students in need. Dean Lucas has challenged this alumni community to join her in raising much needed funds for emergency student scholarships. Your impact on students' access to education is transformative and oftentimes life-changing. Thank you to the many alumni, faculty, and friends that have made contributions and supported the college. On behalf of the college, I would like to recognize and express gratitude to the CEHS Advisory Board, foundations, and supportive alumni and faculty donors. Your support is crucial. Over 60 endowed scholarships and programs support research and students' ability to graduate. There are so many more opportunities for you to make your mark on the college. I'd be happy to help you do so. At this time, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few of our longtime foundations for their commitment to CEHS, some with over 20 years of giving. And they are Victoria Foundation Incorporated, the Patterson Family Foundation, the Woodrow Wilson National Fellowship Foundation, Partners for Health Foundation, the Teachers Club of Montclair, Todd Rita Children's Foundation, Henry and Marilyn Taub Foundation, the Granito Family Foundation, Kessler Foundation, and finally, Miano Family Foundation Incorporated. Many alumni, faculty, and friends have made gifts to the college to begin endowed scholarships or provide program-specific support or offer general college support. These individuals are a select few who I'd like to recognize at this moment as CEHS champions, many with close to 30 years of giving. And they are Richard and Robin Pizzino, Patricia and James DeTora, Dr. Nell Noddings, Susan Blunt and Richard Bard, Estate of Elton V. Robertson, Estate of Dr. Susan Ray, Estate of Charles Farinella, Margaret Peg Veldin, Jean V. Cooper, Marianne Autorino, Susan and Al Greco, Dr. George Einacombe, Drs. Nicholas Michelli and Tina Jacobowitz, Daniel Florick, Dr. Maria Shantz, Barbara and Harold Ferguson, Dr. Ada Beth and Charles Cutler, Dr. Robert Pines and Rita Jacobson, And lastly, our very own Dean Tamara Lucas, who has established an endowed scholarship for doctoral students. These foundations and CEHS champions I've recognized today are just a few of the many alumni, faculty, and friends that transform students' lives here at the college. Together, we can continue to support the good work being done by faculty at the college and future CEHS alumni. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate our colleagues' input and our student, Manara Al-Saidi, talking to us about their experiences and how to give back to our college. On behalf of the College of Education and Human Services, thank you for joining us today. And if today we leave with the most important takeaways from this forum, they are that even during a pandemic, the college has continued its important work under Dean Lucas's leadership. Our distinguished faculty remain committed to innovative research and practice that will change the lives and communities. And lastly, as alumni, giving back your expertise, participation, and financial support is significant in ensuring the success of students and alumni. Thank you again. We hope that you enjoyed the College of Education and Human Services State of the College Forum. Have a great day.